Now let's go ahead and set things up with our SDK here and emulator to make sure that we are prepared to use the Google Play services. So let's go to our Android Studio. It's open, and then at the top, let's go to Tools. First of all, I'm going to go to the AVD Manager. So click there. And you notice here, I have a few emulators already created. In your case, you should probably at least have one. Notice also very important here is that the emulators that have Google Play Service or Play Store, they have this icon here. So this is the Play Store icon, which means this emulator here do have Google Play Store installed in them, which is good because those are the ones that will allow us to create location-based apps and maps and so forth. I also want you to pay close attention to the API level, because if you are creating a new emulator, the API level has to be 21 and up. In this case, it's 27, so we are indeed safe. Now, suppose you don't have any emulator virtual device here with Play Store. Well, it's easy to create a new one. You should know how to do that by now, but let's do that anyway. At the bottom here says create a virtual device. Click there. And notice again, we must follow or get the ones that have this Play Store icon for things to work. Okay, so I could get a Pixel 2 or just a Pixel. Notice the Pixel 2 XL, that wouldn't work because it doesn't have a Play Store. Okay. So I could get Nexus 5, another Nexus. Let's see what else can we get. So looks like that's all we can get. So let's create a new one for Pixel 2. I'm going to click here and I'm going to say next. Notice here, Oreo 27, we have it installed and it has Google Play. And it tells you exactly what it has, right? So it's in parentheses Google Play, Google Play, Google Play. All of these are safe and have Google Play so that our application can actually run on more Android devices. We can go ahead and download here. So if you click download, click that one there, it is there. I'm going to say accept so that we can start installing. Say next. It may take a little bit depending on your internet connection, but for me, I have 775 megabytes. So that will take a little bit, and just wait until the installation is complete. And after a few moments, you can see it says that installation was complete. Install Google Play Intel and all the things that we want. And also install the Google Play. Everything is good. I'm going to go ahead and say finish. And now you can see that our NuGet is available. So we can actually choose it so that the basis API level for our emulator they're going to be creating here, it is 24. Okay, it doesn't matter which one we choose, but I want to make sure that we get the lowest one possible, but still with all the properties that we want, or at least above 21, because that's the requirement. And this way also, because it's API level 21 means that we can potentially run on more devices. Very good. So as we select NuGet here, we can go and say next, and we can give it a name for our Pixel. I'm going to just say Pixel _2, and I like to give it the name NuGet like this. Okay, let's go ahead and show device there. Maybe there's something we want to do. The RAM is good. Keyboard enable. This is really good because that allows us to actually enable keyboard input. So it lets you enter text and interact with the AVD using your hardware computer keyboard. That's always a good idea. Okay, that seems to be good. I'm going to say finish. It will take a few seconds and I should have a new virtual device. Again, if you already had one that had the Play Store and everything, you don't even have to do that. So I'm doing this because I just want to show you how to get that done. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do here is actually go inside of our SDK. So let's go back to tools here. I'm going to go inside of AVD, SDK Manager, click there. And we have all of our platforms here, SDK platforms and so forth. Select the NuGet. This was the 124. Because that is the level, the API level, API name we added for our emulator, which we're going to be using. Okay, I'm going to click on it and say show packages. Of course, it's going to open all of them. Let's go to 27 or 24, I should say. Was it 24? Yes, NuGet 24. Android NuGet. Very good. So let's look what's going on here. So we have Google APIs. It's not installed. I'm going to go ahead and tick that because we will need that as well. And I have the ARM64 system. I'm going to install all of these guys here just to make sure we are covered. Install that. I'm going to install that as well. Google APIs ARM, and make sure, most importantly, that you have this Google APIs Intel also selected and installed. Notice that Google Play Intel is already installed, which is good. So there's a lot of things that need to be installed there. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and say apply. The following components will be installed. I'm going to just say OK. Now, this is the estimated download size. So now this may take a little bit, but don't worry. We can always go drink some tea and wait until it finishes. I'm going to say OK. It's going to start downloading all of our packages. So do not interrupt this and let it do its thing until it's all done. After a few moments, this should happen. It may take a little while for you. Nevertheless, like I said, just wait it out and then all will go well. To say finish, and I'm gonna just say okay. Okay, so now we have all this. So let's go ahead and create a simple project. So I'm gonna say file, so new project. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a basic project here. So because we're just going to look at the location and see if we can set up the Google services. So I'm going to say next. I'm going to say test location like this. You can name whatever you want. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use the NuGet API level. Okay. Say finish just to be consistent there. So next thing we're going to do, let's click to our app because we need to add our Google Play services dependencies to our application. So click on app. And then we're going to go File, Project Structure. Let's go to App. There we go. Let's go to Dependencies. So I'm going to click plus here, Library Dependency, and go ahead and type exactly what you see here. The reason why you have to type everything thoroughly, exactly as you see me typing here, is because somehow with our library dependency window here, it doesn't show all of the dependencies Google services. What I mean by this is follow. I'm going to go ahead and say say .google.android.gms. You hit enter. You're going to see we have all these great services. We have maps, we have ads, wearable, and services. But what we want really, it's a very specific one. So it's going to be services. I'm going to say location, like that, 7.3.0. Again, we won't be able to see it here. That's why we just have to type exactly as it is. So if you say OK, you notice it goes ahead and gets the 7.3 there. Now, the other way to do this is very simple. We can come to this website here, developers.google.com. Guide setup. So this is where we're going to set up our Google Play service. In fact, they give us everything that we need in order for us to be able to set things up. So here, what we need to do, come down here, you can see individual API corresponding to Build at Gradle. So in this case, that's exactly what we did. We added into our dependency Gradle this way here. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. We'll take a few seconds. Here you can see our Google Play services has a lot of different dependencies that we can add inside of our Build at Gradle. There's awareness, there's cast, drive. Let's see what else can we see here. And you look to the right here, let's see if we can find the location. So there it is, Play Service Location, and this is the newest one. That means we can actually copy this. The version is different. So this version is going to be different each time you come here, right? Depending on when you're going to be watching this course. So now, because I added the older version, I can come to my Gradle here, my module app. I'm going to see the implementation is there. In fact, it even tells us there is a new version, which is 16.0.0, which is exactly what I was about to copy. In fact, from here, you can come here and just say change to 16 and sync again. Take a few seconds and voila, successfully. Okay, so there's different ways to do that. I like doing the way we did, which is you click on this app and then go File, go to our project settings or project structure, and then go to dependencies, and at the bottom here you say add. It's easier that way because you can just type in whatever you're looking for and add quicker. Okay, but as you saw, there's also another way to do, which is to go to our website here and make sure that you actually get the correct version. That is very important, and you can change that by coming back there. I'm going to cancel here. So now we have hopefully everything set up for us to start using Google Play services, which we're going to be doing in the next video.